pointing the foot. So I just did a video on flexing the foot, which can be used if you disengage the glutes or your hamstrings. It's really good to flex the foot to help you engage those. When you're pointing the foot, it does something quite different. And I kind of like changing between the two sometimes to see how they feel. Pointing the foot will help you engage your calf, and it will also engage these little muscles at the bottom of the foot, going from the big toe up to halfway up the calf. So why this matters, if you have an arch injury or you have a fallen arch, for example, having a little play with pointing the foot can be pretty useful, and you might want to just mix it into your practice just so you can get those muscles a little stronger. So there's a flexor hallucis longus and flexor hallucis brevis, which is the two muscles which from the longest goes from the big toe through the middle of the foot, over the ankle, halfway up the calf, and the brevis is a smaller muscle. But those ones are the ones predominantly, obviously in the body, everything's kind of connected, so a lot of things are going on, but they are predominantly the ones involved when you start to point the foot. They're pulling the foot into that plantar flexion. Used a lot in running, so if you're running, you're going to be using that muscle a lot, and it can help you get stabilization and take compression. So if you're planting the foot and taking that compression rather than flexing, you just heel first. You're getting all of that compression right up the back into the knee, up the back of the leg. So if you're landing on the ball of your foot, plantar flexion and rolling down, you can take some of that impact out of your running. And when you take that into your yoga practice, you can have a play with pointing the foot to get those muscles a little bit more activated. I did a lot of flexing in my yoga, a lot of flexing the foot like this, because I wanted to activate hamstrings and glutes. And what ended up happening to me is when I was running like a little elephant, heel first, because I was so used to flexing my foot, and these muscles were really strong, and my plantar flexion muscles were really weak. My calf was quite weak. So real strong hamstrings, not very strong calves. So I'm working on running with plantar flexion to try and take out some of that compression in the heel when the heel goes down. This is important in walking as well. And that's why in yoga, usually we're flexing the foot, but have a play if you want to make poses harder. For example, a warrior two. If you just come up onto that heel, or lift the heel up, come into plantar flexion, you really will start to feel that burn pretty quick. So trying to keep the video short, but have a play when you're in your yoga class, lift the heel in different poses. Just have a nice balance of both, because like anything, if we're balanced, we're in a good place. If we're only flexing the foot all of the time in a yoga practice, those muscles are going to get really strong and the opposite side are going to get weak. So if we're not changing it up, you could lead to weakness with overuse. Which is why we like to try to find balance. So have a little play, lift the heel sometimes in a class just to see how that feels. And if the bottom of your foot, I had a bit of feedback after I taught a class with a lot of lifting of the heel, that the bottom of the feet were really sore after the class, because those muscles don't really get used that often in yoga. So have a play, lift the heel, just explore your body, because your body is pretty amazing, and it's worth bringing different things into your practice just to see how it feels, because you're the boss of your body and you want to be balanced. So yeah, that's my pointing of the foot.